Before we get into today's episode, I want to take a moment to say something that matters to me. The Pinto Podcast is completely independent. I don't take ad money, I don't have sponsors, and nobody pays me to say anything on this show. And that's not by accident. That's a decision I made deliberately. Because this podcast is about the craft, about the community, and about honest conversations. And some of those conversations will be hard conversations. The only thing that keeps the show going is you, and I only need one listener to do it. So I thank you for your generosity and all your support. Give us a like and subscribe to the Pinto Podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Now on to the episode. Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Pinto Podcast. My name is Al Wayman, owner of Creek Road Pottery in Laceyville, Pennsylvania, next to the cold Tuscarora Creek. Pull up a chair around the wheel as we discuss topics concerning the art and craft of pottery, good books, storytelling, marketing, and creating work that matters for folks who care. Greetings, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Pinto Podcast. This is Season 5, Episode 5. And we are sitting on the back porch, and it's a beautiful night here in northeastern Pennsylvania, next to the cold Tuscarora Creek. The creek has been at normal level. We haven't had a lot of rain, and the creek is running cold, and the grass is green, and tonight you can hear the peepers and other night sounds as we sit out here on the back porch. In our last episode, we talked about how I was working to be more self-sufficient, more self-sustainable, and to build a more reliable pottery in case things went bad with both the economy and politics and things like that. So, since then, we have put in the garden, and that has been growing pretty decent. The cabbage and the kale is coming up great. The tomatoes are coming up great. We had some lettuce sprouting, so we're hoping to harvest some of that by the 4th of July. And also, I put in a watermelon plant that we got. And I'm kind of worried about it, even though I think maybe they grow slower, but it doesn't look very healthy. Maybe it needs something. I don't know if I need to try to help it along or maybe put something in its place, but I'm going to let it go because it did have a few new leaves coming on. So, but maybe I'll give it a chance. So we have that, and then some peppers, and my wife Rachel just planted some beans that she sprouted. So we're trying to offset that grocery bill a little bit by cooking more at home and growing things at home and saving some real money. I put that into Claude, and I'll talk more about that later. And I have an estimate on how much this could save us based on what we get out of the garden and how much we were able to harvest. That is, if the deer and all the animals don't eat it off, right? So, that is the little update. In the pottery, I have been doing some cleaning. It's been really hard to work on the wood kiln, mainly because I had to do a bunch of days of overtime at the big paper factory. But that in turn helped me to start the solar project. I'll talk more about that in the next session, and have some extra money to prepare and to keep the credit cards paid off, get some things that I needed to have around to make things easier. So I still need to try to pull everything out of the studio and do a deep clean, and I also need to work on that kiln. I have a day and a half left tomorrow. So I have off tomorrow, and hopefully I can get out there and work on that kiln, finish the arch, have the sand and the fire clay, and mix the slurry, put the brick into the arch, and spend a day and a half hopefully working on that. The difficult part that I'm finding with that kiln is scheduling time to have work days to have people come over because of my work schedule. Then on top of that, work has been a little more physically and mentally demanding the last couple weeks. And so having a day off, you're just exhausted on your day off, and you need time to recover. So that has been putting a damper on a lot of things that I would like to do here. But we'll get there. This is nothing new. We've been through it all before. So that's kind of a little update. And I think in this episode, I'm going to talk about the projects that I have going and the solar equipment that I was able to get, and talk a little bit about the community part of that solar project that I would like to do, and also some ideas I'm throwing around. So this is going to be the philosophy behind some of these builds, solar update, and another garden report, a little bit better than what I just gave you here. Maybe we'll pull up some numbers and look at what I'm supposed to be getting out of it. And then also a little more on the kiln, and then what I'm making with the rocket kilns. Okay, so if you'd like to sit and chat with me for a while, there's plenty of room here on the back porch on this beautiful June night. So go grab a coffee. I'm going to get one. And meet me back here, and we'll have a chat. I'll see you then. All right, welcome back, friends. Let's go grab a seat out here on the porch. And it's such a beautiful night. Got my coffee here. So it's kind of strange. I can drink a coffee and go to sleep. It's from working at the paper factory that does it to me, switching from nights to days and then back. So coffee really doesn't bother my sleep. If you're tired enough, you'll sleep. So pull up a chair, and what I'd like to do is talk about the philosophy behind some of the things that I'm doing to be more sustainable and more independent. And so I'm thinking the idea behind all these things, it's easier to talk about solar panels and grow bags and have it sound like prepping paranoia. But I'm trying to have it not be like that, because apocalypticism and paranoia will cloud our vision of the future and what it can be, right? And we may not be able to change what happens to us and around us, but we can change our attitudes towards it. And when we do that, it may open up other possibilities that we haven't thought of if we're constantly clouded by fear and apocalypticism. So, in that light, or in that idea, Viktor Frankl talked in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, that if you're unable to change the things around you, you may need to think about changing yourself. But adding a third thing can manipulate systems because it needs to deal with the third element. And sometimes the solutions to very big problems can be simple answers and simple solutions by just adding the third thing. So I think it was Einstein. My buddy Richard was telling me about it. The third thing that's added. Somebody can look that up and tell me. That's your homework. So all I'm saying is, don't get paranoid, right? So that applies to quite a few things that I've been thinking about. And the principle here is, it's really simple. If you don't own something physically and you rent it, or you're on a platform, it's rented, you don't own it, and it can be taken away, right? So I have a database of music that we bought. I've downloaded it and saved it to hard drives because I can't trust Amazon or Netflix and things like that. I have DVDs so that we can still enjoy movies and things. So same with power and same with food, all those things. So that's the principle behind it. If you don't own it, somebody else does, and they can take it away. So I got thinking about that and how it applies to electricity, as I said, how it applies to food, how it applies to my heating the house here, heating the kilns, and how it applies to creative income. And if the grid goes down and the grid makes, and it takes your power with it, everything gets canceled, right? And maybe even a show if things got really bad. If the platform changes algorithms, I've lost websites, social media accounts. One time I lost an account from the pottery. At 3,500 followers, loads of fun interaction, and then it was taken over by a bad guy. So if you don't own it, they can just take it away. So I started doing a lot of things on my own website over at creekroadpottery.com. So everything I'm building right now is about reducing the number of things I don't control that can take something away from me. So I have the treadle wheel. I don't need electric to run the treadle wheel. And so I put in the garden, the little garden. It's helped me a little bit there. We hope to enlarge it next year. So I'm running the writing on my own website. I'm building the wood kiln. I'm doing the rocket kilns to get off gas and propane, the utility things. And then I had some other ideas. So it's all with the same idea. If you own it and you store it and you don't rent, you still have it. So on the solar update, I was really happy to get the controller. And it's a smart solar controller with Bluetooth. And why it matters, because a lot of times when you hear solar, you picture panels on the roof and a lower electric bill. But I'm trying to build something a little bit different. So this is an off-grid backup system, not a grid-tied system. So I'm not sending any money or any power, any power back to the utility. This is a system that stores power on site. It'll be in batteries, and we can use it when the grid is running or when it's down. And so I'm trying to offset a few things from that. Either if it's in the studio or in the house, I can offset my power bill. And the system will have 4 batteries to it that will be all linked. And it's the same chemistry, lithium batteries, that run electric vehicles. And I'll have 4 solar panels on the pottery shed roof. And the charge controller that arrived yesterday, that's the brain that manages
how the panels charge the batteries. So I need to get an inverter that converts battery power to the house current, and then transfer switch that connects to the house so that maybe I can run the well pump and refrigerator from it at times from the stored power that we have. So I'll need to get, probably around October, bring out an electrician to look at our panel box and to let me know what he thinks about it. And then the total system cost will be roughly, I don't know, maybe around $3,000. But when it's done, I'll have a power source here at the pottery, and the life of the batteries lasts for about 10 years, so if things go well. So the controllers are here and the batteries are next. Hopefully the batteries, I can get them, I'm saving up money now, I can get them in July, so that'll be good. And that's a sequence that can't happen all at once. It'll happen as I afford it. So another thing I'll need to look at is where I want to store the batteries. If I want to keep them in the pottery shed under the display shelves, which I think would be really interesting. But with that, I would need to keep the lithium batteries from freezing, because in below freezing temperatures, they shut down and cannot be charged. So I'd have to put warmers under them, or build an insulated box with a thermostat, heating pad, or buy self-heating battery add-ons, which you can do. It's just, I don't know, a few more bucks per battery, but it does drive up costs. So I need to figure out. So I'm leaning towards the basement. It's the cleanest solution, as it'll be near the wood stove. So how can I benefit the community from this? Because my idea of it, as you help yourself, you can help others. And one thing I've been thinking about this system that goes beyond the pottery and beyond the house needs is what I can do for the neighbors. And with the solar system battery storage, the community, I was thinking during an outage, maybe they can come down and charge their own backup batteries if they have them. And if they needed to and didn't have money for gas run generators and it was going for a long time, maybe I can help them with charging batteries here, or other artists in the area, to help them run their studios with battery packs that they would charge here. So I'm trying to think more about others as I help myself. So that's part of it. Now, we'll talk more about the garden, right? Man, listen to those peepers. It's so beautiful out here. So the garden we put in 2 weeks ago, around Memorial Day. We got Bonnie plant starts from Tractor Supply. They had a half off sale. So we got 6 tomato varieties: Better Boy, Big Boy, Celebrity, Better Bush, and 2 Husky Cherry Reds. And we got 5 peppers, bell peppers, gypsy, chili red hot, and 2 burpless cucumbers, some squash, zucchini, and that watermelon plant I was telling you about, broccoli, cauliflower, and purple kale, and a leek plant. So all those are growing across 126 square feet of growing space, because I had some grow bags. I had 20 grow bags and 4 raised beds and 2 elevated stand-up beds that Rachel put the kale in, and pepper, and I think radishes. So in 2 weeks, what you'll be seeing is, what we are seeing is, the plants are coming up, everything is doing good, except that watermelon is struggling a bit. And I'm trying to be positive. So financially, what does this mean? For $48 invested, the projected food value that we have planned, somewhere between $440 and $700 worth of vegetables over the season. So that's a 9 to 14 times return on a $48 investment. So food prices the way they are right now, the math is far more compelling than what it was a year ago. So every cucumber we pick is a cucumber that we didn't buy at the store. And we've been tracking prices. You can do this if you're brave. I've been taking our receipts and taking images of the receipts and loading it into Claude. And it's been tracking all of our food expenses for the last 2 months. And it alerts us on what items are rising in costs and what items are staying the same, and giving us information. And from that is how we knew what to plant in our garden to offset some of that cost. So that has been going pretty decent. Into the kiln. So I have the arch started. I just need to put the roof on the firebox and build the chimney stack. That will be straightforward. Once I get to the chimney stack, I just need to put in the damper and the air flow control with that damper, and it'll just go straight up 20 foot. So the biggest task that I have left to do is to finish that arch, which I can work on tomorrow. Every time I do this episode, I say I'm going to work it on tomorrow. But yeah, we need to do it. So I've been trying to throw more on the treadle wheel, and I really enjoy the foot-powered treadle wheel, and it adds a really nice look to the pots. And so I think that the pots that will be coming out of the studio, I'm going to try to bisfire them in the rocket kilns. I hope to get running within the week coming up, because that's something that I really need to do. I went and took all the propane tanks, 20 pounders, got them all filled to offset some of the rising price increases around gas that I think will be coming in the next 2 weeks, because right now we're just running down the national supply, strategic supply, and we're pretending everything's fine, but I know better. I think I do anyways. We'll find out, right? I'm a wait and see kind of guy, but from the way things look, I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit different in a couple weeks. So that moves us into this little pottery game that I wanted to do. And I need to set it up yet. And maybe some of you can come over. It's going to be on my Discord. And it's going to be open to anyone who is kind of doing like homesteady stuff, or you're creating a business, you're doing handmade, and you want encouragement, stop on over. And in the next episode, I'm going to put notes in the show links. Yeah, put a link in the show notes to what I'm building. And I want to hear about what you're building. And then you can map out quests. And I'm trying to read everything and get it down how I just want it, where you would get points, and then on the points system, it would have all these sections of how you're trying to be more sustainable and self-reliant. And so that is coming. I'll give you more information about that. That'll be a fun thing. You just check in maybe once a week. Tell me how your garden's doing. Tell me how your pots are doing. Tell me how your kiln's doing. How your energy supply is going. Things like that, right? Then I had a big idea of doing maybe a mug club quarterly. And for $50 quarterly, I would send out mugs to the members, shipped right to your door with a handwritten note, old-timey fashion with a stamp, right? Shipping included. And I plan on doing maybe 10 spots. So that's coming. And current work, I have some pots that were glazed by the milk glaze test that I ran. They came out pretty nice. And I'm going to try to get them loaded in the store soon. So look for those at the Creeker Pottery Shop. And then, of course, I have the Pottery Dailies, do the daily writing. And paid membership for that, $6 a month or $60 a year. And thank you to those who signed up. I had some people sign up for the Founding Members Club, which was $5 or $50 a year. So that is now closed, but paid membership, $6 a month or $60 a year. And I'll put a link to that in the show notes. So, thanks for hanging out with me. And on the back porch here, on this beautiful June night in northeastern Pennsylvania. And if what I'm building here resonates with you, and if you're asking the same questions that I might be asking about self-sustainability, self-reliance, and independence, and building something that holds up regardless what happens around us economically and politically, I want to hear from you. So stop by and give a comment on your favorite podcast platform. Give us a like, because I only make this podcast for one person, and that's you. And I really appreciate hearing from one or two of you that are out there. And so take care, friends. And until next time, happy potting.